And we are back. This time we've got a Keeper League draft. It is quite different from anything we've done before. Before, we've always done redraft leagues in here together. This time, for the first time, we are doing a Keeper League. So I've set my keepers. This is my second year in this league. Last year I took over a Keeper League. One of the guys in this is in my Dynasty League as well, and he invited me to this. Wearing my Don Cherry shirt yet again. Felt it was appropriate for this draft, similar how it was to the other one. So let's take a look really quick at my keepers. Get back here to the land before Petey. So Connor McDavid, Taylor Hall, Patrick Kane, Brent Burns, and Andrei Vasilevsky. The categories that we count are goals, assists, power play points, shots on goal, hits, blocks. And then for goaltenders, it's wins, saves, shots against, or not shots against, sorry, just wins, saves, and save percentage. That's it, those three. So it's 3 of 9 are goaltender categories. Now, in this league, goaltenders tend to be pretty much hoarded. People own a ton of goaltenders by the end of it, and it's really hard to get your hands on a goaltender, and so saves become really difficult. And so when we look at the actual draft itself here, let me see if I can actually show it. I guess you can only see it here. So I have a pick 4th overall over here, and then after that, I don't pick till 21 and 28. Those are the two that I have. And so probably going to take a goaltender here. The best goaltenders available are, you'll see, Pecorina, in my opinion, is Connor Hellebuck and Carter Hart. Those are my two favorites. I like Philip Grubauer as well. Could see a lot of I think Carter Hart, for me, more than anything, he's a possible keeper in the future. Obviously, I have Vasilevsky, but say Brent Burns falls off a cliff or something, I'd love to keep Carter Hart, as is Connor Hellebuck. A really, really good keeper option and a keep 5. So I've set up the tool over here in a little bit of a different way. The picks are all over the place because people have traded, so I came up with this little ingenious system, I guess, for it to tell me who the next 2 picks are, so that at any time I can kind of know, okay, that pick was this person. Because it can get pretty crazy pretty fast actually trying to keep up with this. So we've got 30 seconds on the clock here until the next pick. I'm so stoked. I don't know if it seems like it, but I'm so excited. I don't know quite what I'm going to do yet from a strategy perspective. You may want to check. I'll put the timestamps to all my picks down below because there are some times when there's a lot of time in between my picks. There's one round, for example, where I picked twice in a row, and then after that I don't have anything else. You can see it here. Yeah, round 5 I picked twice in a row. I have 2 in round 6 as well, and then there's a certain time when I have nothing. So okay, we are on. So let's see what happens here. We'll go over the other keepers. From a get-go, I'm at the top. Phil Kessel. Wow. Did not expect that. I mean, Patrick Laine's out there. And you see goaltender goes. This is exactly kind of what I was eyeing. I was saying, okay, if a goaltender goes, I'm definitely going goaltender. So I'll definitely be going goaltender here. And then Subban goes. So I'm up. Now there's a question here, right? Do I take what is on my rankings the best goaltender in Connor Hellebuck? He's 7th overall. I can take Connor Hellebuck, pair him with Vasilevsky. Or do I take Carter Hart, who is the future and one of my favorite goaltenders stylistically and actually? Oh, man, it's tough. So if we look at last year's stats, Carter Hart was 200. I mean, he didn't have very many saves. He had 1,872 saves. I feel like Connor Hellebuck is the smart move here. The save percentage is the scary bit, but you can't complain with the wins and you can't complain with the saves. So I'm going to go Connor Hellebuck here. Get my goaltending absolutely perfect from the get-go. And everyone, like I said, everyone stacks. We have no auto drafters. That's awesome. Last year I think we had 1 or 2. So take Connor Hellebuck, get the best goaltender off the board, in my opinion. Puts me in a really good spot. And I'm already starting, kind of what I was telling Brandon. I was talking to him a lot about this because I couldn't make the decision on what to do because like a Patrick Laine's out there and everything. Really kind of, well, the way I saw it was I'm so fine in skaters, and I'm so ahead in skaters already with McDavid, Hall, Patrick Kane, and Brent Burns, and there's not as many goaltenders available. Like, if you look at the goaltenders, there's really not that many. I would love to get a Markstrom, for example, later. I mean, I could still maybe get Carter Hart late. It's good to run 3 goaltenders in this league, or at least it was last year. It proved successful, and so look, we're seeing goaltenders. Goaltenders are going to go off the board really quick here. I don't even know if there's going to be any goaltenders worth picking by the time it gets to me, to be honest. So I'm glad I took a volume guy like Connor Hellebuyck, but to me, it was, let me take a goaltender. My skaters are already fine. So what I want to do there is I want to take, I want to get the hardest position. The rarest position in this league is goaltender. So I think next up, I do want to take care of my defense as well because I have good forwards. And there's blocks in this league, so that means that there's quite a few defensemen that are actually worth it. Martin Jones goes off the board a little bit early. I am curious when Carter Hart goes. I'm really surprised Phil Kessel went off the board. I didn't expect that one bit. Timo Meyer's a great pick. That's who I was debating. If I took a forward, I would have gone Timo Meyer. But that's okay. Per my rankings, the best players out there, I'll tell you in a second who Zibanejad is still out there. Great pick. Vincent Trocheck is out there. Jonathan Huberdeau getting released is insane. So I like him. I like Pettersson. There's a lot of guys I think I like, and that's why when I was talking to Brand about it, I was like, you know what? There's just so many forwards that I like out there that I can get at this 21 spot that I'm just going to get the goaltender. There's a good chance that none get to me. So I'm happy I got that. Let's get the effects on here too for everybody. I also had some people tell me that the audio was low from the mic, so I tried turning that up this draft. So hopefully that sounds better. Yeah, let's take a look at. So now we'll see standings here. I'm tied 1.5 here. Hurting in goals. I think goals is what I really want to target because, assists I'm already doing well with Connor McDavid and Taylor Hall. Shots on goal I'm high in. There goes Carter Hart. Blocks, hits, not doing great in, but that makes sense because of the guys that I have. But if I target like a Chernak, for example, late, Chernak would be a huge get in my opinion. And apologies if I don't do too much commentary this time. My sheet takes quite a bit of concentration on this one just because the picks are all over the place. And so I want to make sure to get them right. Luckily, there's a little bit more time on the clock. Huberdeau went. That's a really good pick. I can't believe he was released, honestly. I don't remember who someone kept him over. Of course, I have my draft leaderboard over here on the side that we can take a look at some point. But I am looking real fine. I'm ahead. I'm towards the top or first in everything except for peripherals and that are hits and blocks. So I'm not worried one bit. Trubus out there. I like him a lot. Chabot, obviously Doughty we like, who we've taken in almost every draft. Philly Grubs. There goes Doughty. Okay, so I'm curious what'll get back to me here. It's almost my pick. I wouldn't be totally against getting a Mika Zibanejad, who was 25th ranked last year. Positions do matter, but there is a util, so not too worried about it. I could take a defenseman as well. Well, I think I'll take a defenseman at 28 because to me, Dahlin, Dougie, Chabot are all kind of similar value. And so I'm okay missing out on that. Now, I do not have a pick in round 4, so that's important to remember as well, that I will not have a pick in round 4, so I need to make these 2 picks kind of count depending on what's going to get back to me. There's an argument for going defense because defense kind of falls off, but I think I'm going to see. The thing is, I think a lot of people are actually going by ADP. But Mika Zibanejad is right here. I'm okay getting a Mika Zibanejad at this point. And he gives me the hits peripherals that I really need. That's the most important. He gives me shots and hits. Not as many blocks, which is okay, but I can get blocks from somebody else. Like Jacob Trouba is really interesting for that coverage. I think I'm going to reach a little bit here for Mika Zibanejad, who's a 20th. I mean, you don't get 20th ranked players very often. Especially in a keeper league, that doesn't really happen much. So I'll take that, and I know it's a center, and I didn't necessarily want a center, but that's okay. Weber goes right after. That's perfect. Okay. Feeling good so far then. I think I like where that puts me. Puts me second there. But feeling really good. And then I think I'll take a defenseman here on this turn. Dougie is probably the guy I target here at this point. Just I like the upside in Dougie a lot. And he gives you just so many peripherals on top of that. Hank, what? That is an odd pick. I mean, I guess he's the best volume guy left out here, really. You have Jacob Markstrom. I'd prefer Markstrom all day over Hank. But to each their own. Evander Kane. Okay. So it's coming back around to me. I'll probably go defense. I think at this point in a keeper league, especially in a keep 5, like this is essentially take the most value that's available on the board, in my opinion, at least. You know, a Vincent Trocheck, but he's a center. I think Chabot is good here, although I like the upside in Dougie Hamilton. I just don't know if he gets to me. That's the fear. I really like Trouba too, just for how he fills out the points or peripherals that I need. But I can fill out peripherals with like a Chernak or something late. So I don't think I should worry too much about peripherals. I think at this point here, I should just be going the best defenseman on the board, and that's actually Dougie Hamilton. I mean, Chabot and Hamilton are close, but I'm so screwed if Dougie doesn't. I'm very screwed if Dougie doesn't get top. If Dougie doesn't get top power play. But if he does, boy, oh boy. Let's go Dougie. Let's take a risk. You know what? I'm in a good position with my team where I can take a risk, because of my keepers. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get the guy that I want in Dougie Hamilton, and hope for the best. I hope he's top power play. If he ends up not being top power play, I'm kind of screwed. So again, remember, no picks in round 4. So we'll see how that affects me eventually. There's still a lot of good people out there. There's Evgeny Dadonov still there. Mike Hoffman is still there. If we take a look at just the rank in general, Darnell Nurse, Brendan Gallagher, Love Svech, obviously Brady Tkachuk is there. I released him just because obviously with my keepers that I had, Brady Tkachuk just didn't fit. Voracek is a good one for late. Rickard Kell, because Netsov goes early. So let's take a look at let's sort this by ADP too, because I want to watch where people come from. But I'm indeed feeling good about the start so far. So far, the start has been fantastic. Oh, that burn. That hurts. Oh, man. So let's take a look over here. Come over to these. So this is just this stuff. Let's take a look at kind of player rankings and who's still out there. Like Pettersson is still here. And he's kind of good. Unless I missed his pick. He might have gone. Okay, he went. I missed that. Anyways, Pettersson's not there. But Brady Tkachuk is up there, and he's ranked 43. So we'll see if when he goes. And then you see Chabot is down here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, let's catch up here on Pettersson. Where was he? He was 19th. Went to Shane's team. Yeah, it can get messy on the sheet real quick with all these traded picks. You can get yourself into quite a bit of trouble. So I think the dream here on this next move is I can get a defenseman such as like Trouba. I think Trouba's a good kind of hope falls to me. Otherwise, I can go for a. Otherwise, if not Trouba, then I can look at a Chabot or whatever. But I would like to get, I think, a Markstrom. So Trouba just went. That makes sense. I would think about Markstrom early. Just so much volume, so many saves. He has good save percentage upside actually as well because of their new goaltending coach. I mean, their save percentage last year was actually really solid towards the end. Demko had a great save percentage. So did Markstrom. So that'd be a pretty good get. I doubt he gets to me all the way down here at 52, 53, but we'll see. And there's not that much time in between that pick after that at 62. So let's take a look at standing still in first here, which is awesome. Love to see it. Keeper leagues are very weird. They're so different. It's just so weird, who's available, who's not available. It really messes with things quite a bit. And I have so many shares in Dougie Hamilton this year. It's insane. I feel like I've gotten him in every single draft I've done. Yep. Eric Gustafsson. Okay, so still the defensemen that I thought would go have not gone. This is good for me. This is good for us. OEL goes. Why isn't Chabot going? That is shocking. I mean, a league that counts power play points too. It's just up there. I've done well in shots now. Someone's starting to recover in blocks. I don't want to go too defense heavy here. Like power play point defense on this one because I want to use my power play, or I want to use my D as more peripheral D. So like a Nurse would be good here. A Nurse would be good. A Chernak would be good. A Gudas on the bench would be fantastic because of the off nights, and I can bring him in for peripherals. Petrie actually isn't a terrible option either because he just gets so many peripherals, and the peripherals make up a lot of your cats here. And hits, blocks, and shots. Ryan O'Reilly, I like that pick a lot. And Dan has back-to-back here. So he goes Ryan O'Reilly, and then we'll see what he goes here on this back-to-back. He went Gustafsson, O'Reilly, so he had the 35th as well. One little interesting thing that has changed now, of course, but is interesting, is you can actually see... So on this sheet, I put in everyone's pick number, and at first it was kind of cool because you could see. I mean, now it updates, right? But it's the average of all the pick numbers, so you can kind of see who has the best kind of picks upcoming, which is pretty sweet. So you can see like mine is 91.2. The lower the average, in theory, the better the picks, right? Because you're picking more earlier. This person has really good ones: 83.8, 84.9. And then it's me at 91.2. So I have good draft positions coming up here soon. So Monahan and Muzzin go off the board. So he goes back-to-back centers there. So let's take a look at how people are composed so far. So we have quite a few people with two centers already. Myself being one of those. So Svech goes off the board earlier than I thought. Damn. Ekblad. Oh, man. There's no way Chabot actually falls to me, right? I mean, if this many defense are going, it might be worth thinking about taking a peripheral defenseman at some point. Potentially. Obviously, the draft leaderboard, take it with, a grain of salt because there's... different people have more players than others, but you can see me very ahead in all these cats in goals, assists, power play points, shots on goal. I should target goals a little bit heavier than assists in these next few picks. My goaltending is outstanding. In wins, saves, and save percentage, it's going to be hard to beat me there. So if I can be really competitive, or if I can win these more often than not, and then win these three more often than not, I'll be in a really, really good spot. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm not going to fade peripherals, but I'm also not going to prioritize him to the point that I'm playing so much catch up. My team might just legitimately not really need to play catch up very much there. Yeah, the other thing that's a little funny and weird about keeper leagues is that you can't really plan for it. It depends on the different keeper leagues. This one, for example, didn't actually release their keepers until just like yesterday. We didn't get to see the keepers, so you can't really plan that much. You can't sit there and plan and say, oh, this person's going to be a sleeper, this person's going to be a steal. You can't really do that. It's tough. So I think here I'm hoping for Brady. If Brady falls to me, that'd be amazing. I don't think it'll happen, but there's a chance it might. It shouldn't. It shouldn't happen, but we're close. We're getting real close to a Brady Tkachuk here. That'd be unbelievable. And I think about maybe going Markstrom just because that's the last. Like I said, people in this league hoard goaltenders, and there's a ton of trades every single year. Like every year, there's a lot of trades. And so I'm pretty confident that I could somehow maneuver a trade to get one of my goaltenders out for potentially like maybe what they see as an upgrade somewhere else or whatever. So I'm not too worried myself about having 3 goaltenders and needing to figure that out. Oh, come on. Get us Chabot. Or Tkachuk. Chabot. Come on, get us Tkachuk. I want him so bad. He shouldn't be here. 1,000% he should not be here. Because again, you're looking at a guy that to me is 43rd overall in the league. So 43rd overall in the league. And he's going 50th overall, pick 5, or round 5, picked. He would be going round 5 in a keeper after 5 players have been kept. That is pretty nuts. I bet you I'm going to get sniped, though. I bet you I get sniped here. Ovi's Endless Bender is a pretty smart guy. I remember liking his draft a lot last year. Who knows? Maybe it's I Am No Domi here, who surprises me. But come on, get us Tkachuk, please. I mean, I have backup options, but please, Davu, one more. Don't do it. Don't ruin me. Don't ruin my life. The suspense is killing me. Oh, I hate this. I hate when you have a guy that you've been waiting rounds for, and then you're like, oh, I'm on the precipice, and we get him! Yeah! Vamos! Yes! Did not expect that. We get our 2 guys. Let's go! Couldn't dream of a better scenario there. Debating going Darnell Nurse to kind of fix my peripherals on defense. Instead of going goaltenders, that might be smarter, but there's like a Pulox. Like I said, there's Chernax, there's Gudas's. I'm okay not getting Darnell Nurse. So we're going to go Brady. Unbelievable that I got him. Just, that's insane to me. Oh, that makes me so happy. I was so scared. Okay, so we're going Brady here, and we're going to go as well. We're going to be the first team here with 3 goaltenders on the board. And that's because everyone always stacks up the goaltenders. And to me, Markstrom is a top-rated goaltender. Markstrom is 17th overall on the board left. That's the best goaltender by a mile. So we're going to take Jacob Markstrom here and just dominate wins, saves, and we get the off nights. So I love it. That felt good. And I have another pick 62 and 69. Brandon would hate me if we were doing this together. And we're first by just a little bit. Just a bit. But that's okay. We're feeling really good here. Feeling really good. Pulock goes. We might still be able to get Nurse, honestly. If that's even the smartest move. I got to see who's at right. There's also a forward spot, so I can take a center and not feel too bad. At right wing, one person that's a little bit interesting is Palmieri that's still out there. Who's up? As good as it gets. So again, they may be drafting with ADP here. His ADP was 81, so yeah, kind of around here. They're all eyeing. Victor Arvidsson would be an interesting play, potentially here. Oh my god, that Brady pick made me so happy. Couturier is an interesting pick here, as is Dubois. They're both really good. Both kind of hurt. Both kind of crappy on peripherals, to be honest. That's kind of the only thing. Or sorry, power play points. It's the only thing I don't really like. Jeff Skinner is still out there. There's a Shane Gostisbehere is going to be a great grab at some point here. Couturier, he goes Couturier and Hurdle. So what was their? Let's look at their ADP. 149. Okay, so he definitely reached, and he went. So they're reaching. Okay, so I'm okay, I think, to just kind of get the big boys I want. Kyle Palmieri went. Okay, that's fine. Atkinson after that, and then Palmieri. Palmieri and Skinner. So kind of some of the guys I was thinking about there, which is a little bit disappointing. I think we may go. I mean, we're doing so well in points here that, I don't hate Arvidsson here. I think Darnell Nurse is probably the smartest play. Although if centers are going, Pierre-Luc Dubois is a good option for peripherals. And then I can go one, like here at the 69 pick, I can go one of Petrie or Nurse. I think either one will be available, honestly. Dustin Brown late is another really good option. Although Voracek is also here. Let's go Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think. I have him ranked 58th for this year. Could be too big of a gamble this early. But I think he's my favorite on the board left, and people are going center. It means I'm not going to get the guy I want. So let's go Dubois for that one. Okay, so we're going to hope for a Nurse or Petrie, I think. I don't think I would prefer Nurse. Like, I hope Nurse is the one that's there. There's a good chance he isn't, though. So I go to third here, which makes sense. Dan's team has one extra person than me, as does Meat Cove. So they both have one extra player. And I'm like right there with them. So it's going to be hard to catch me in wins, I think. And I have a really good save percentage on top of that. So I'm right in the middle of the pack when it comes to goals, assists, and power play points. Let's take a look here at who has the most power play points left. Of course, LeBanc. So I think Voracek. I could go Nurse, or I could go Voracek here. Actually, would be a good pick. Let's take a look at who's left here that did really well last year. Jonathan Toews. 1 second, I need to get the door. Oh, we get sniped Darnell Nurse while I'm gone. I shouldn't have left. See, the hockey gods knew. It's okay. So Jonathan Toews still being out there is kind of insane. I wonder what he's projected for this year. Wow, they really regressed him back, huh? Falk, I like that Nylander pick as well. Feels early for Oshie in this league. Feels very early. Okay, now I'm up next. What are we going to do here? I don't want to go center. Dustin Brown is interesting, but Dustin Brown I can get really late. There's really not any defense options anymore. I could go Gostisbehere, even though he's a reach. Gostisbehere has a lot of upside. I also really want to get a guy like Edler is also someone that would really fit my... And so a lot of people traded around for Edler last year, actually, which was interesting. See, Voracek is staring at me. And I do need a right wing. Anthony Mantha is good later. Okay, so let's make a decision here on what to do. Victor Arvidsson is a really interesting point person. Those power play points suck. I could take the gamble that the points come up. But the Problem is he doesn't really contribute much else. Voracek probably fits everything I'm looking for right now. A lot of power play points. They're really bringing up those power play points, though. Let's think about this for a second. I think Voracek is the smartest move here. Yeah, let's go Voracek. That's the smartest move at the moment. I want to still play it a little bit safe here on this starting roster because I'm in such a good spot already. There's no reason to take too many unnecessary risks. And this person has one player more than me. This person has one player more than me as well, and I'm ahead of them. So I'm doing really, really well. David Riddick goes. Arvidsson goes after. Yeah, that's fine. Then I have another one here at 76. So a lot of back-to-backs here. And Zach Werenski goes. Okay, I'm feeling good about this draft so far. Crushing in points, crushing in obviously goaltender cats. I've actually recovered quite a bit in hits. Blocks is where I'm hurting, but that's totally understandable. Okay, Kyle Connor, that's a good pick. I like the Connor pick. Parayko and Leonard. See, so goaltenders early is a good thing for me because it allows me now to fade goaltenders and let other people try to figure out whatever it is they're doing. Okay, so let's take a look. I have Gostisbehere lined up. I don't pick again until 93, so it's a bit of a ways away. At this point, I have everyone kind of filled out. I'd be on my bench, so I'm on util or defense at this point. Gostisbehere's not a terrible option. He's the next best defenseman and one of the last top power play ones left. I could just get him and feel really good. I mean, Petrie's not top power play, Suter, whatever. Gostisbehere, I have him ranked way higher than they do. I'm not quite sure where we differ on this. I'll have to take a look at why exactly we differ so much on this. But anyways, I think he's the last pretty much top power play guy aside from. Let's take Gostisbehere. I want to reach. I mean, I think we've seen defensemen go. We've seen Parayko's go. So I want a Gostisbehere. Get that next best defenseman off the board, and then I can start to look at like a Petrie. Or Petrie goes right after me, which makes sense. So if we're looking at, I'm in first here, and that helps my power play points a lot. Tom Wilson. And Gostisbehere there is essentially what is the equivalent of a 13th round pick. So I'll take Gostisbehere in the 13th round all day. And that's really how you have to look at it, is like there's been 5 keepers. And so now who are you taking? That's the big question mark. And you have to kind of adjust your mindset because it would seem like, okay, maybe I'm reaching, but at the same time, you have to think of it as there's already been 5 keepers. This is the equivalent of like a 14th, 13th round pick. What would I do in like a 13th round pick, right? So like here you say, well, I have so many picks left or whatever, right? But it doesn't really work like that. Like to me, it's in the 13th round, I'd happily take a Gostisbehere. And that's more of how I'm trying to view it is how would I take a guy? Well, how would I treat this draft normally if this pick were at the same position? And let's say all these, really good players were available. That's really how I want to think of it a little bit more. Mantha's a really good pick there. Ehlers, Edler. I knew Edler would be gone. I could have gone Edler instead, but that's okay. I'll go with Chernak or Gudas. I would like to go Chernak and Gudas, to be honest. Both of those would be good picks. Jay Quick. Taze would be a really good guy to get for the bench, to be honest. I would not mind getting him for the bench. I have Taze ranked 75th overall. He'd be a very good util or bench guy for points. And then you see if I can get a Chernak and Gudas, for example. Then what I can do is I can rotate that util depending on what I need on any given week. But I think these last 2 defense spots here go to straight peripheral monsters. I still like Nino. And Nino is out there still, for example. Nino Niederreiter, Patrick Hornquist, who gets me some peripherals. I think Chris Kreider's still out there, who for me would be fantastic on this left wing. And he gets a ton of off nights on the Rangers. And so that would be pretty good for me. So I think Kreider is probably the move here next, and then a peripheral defenseman. The worry of doing a peripheral defenseman this early is that you tick people off that peripheral defenseman might be going, and you might see some of them go off the board. It's a little nerve-wracking. But I do like Andrzej Kopitar, who's right above Jonathan Toews. There's also Matt Barzal still out there, but Toews to me is far better than all those folks. Yeah, this one's going to be quick, too. There's only 13 rounds because it's a keeper league. Sorry. Oh, there are 16 rounds. No. These last rounds are actually the keepers, so it's only 13 rounds. So this is that last round. So if we get to the 13th round, I'll let you know. I have 3 picks of the 12th. But if we get there, I'll let you know because you don't really have to watch that anymore unless you want to just skip to the end and see how I'm ranking compared to everybody else. So these teams above me, Meat Cove Pirates has 1 team above me, or 1 player more than me. As Good As It Gets has 2 players more than me, so I am crushing so far, and Toews goes. Damn, that's okay. That is okay, so we might go 2 peripheral defensemen here. And then maybe that'll spark a few defensemen start to go. I mean, I like Hopi, I like Horvat, actually. I like Barzal. Dustin Brown is actually the next get here, if I can. Would love to get Dustin Brown. This would be great value for him. Chris Kreider's also. I could go 2 wings here, actually. I could go Dustin Brown and Chris Kreider. That wouldn't be bad. That might actually be what I do here. I might go Dustin Brown and then that if it can happen. I don't know which one I'd prefer. I'd probably prefer Dustin Brown. And I know I've gotten him in virtually every league just because there's so much value to him. But he's also fallen so much. Everyone is just like, oh, LA, like LA sucks. And so, he keeps getting faded just because he's on LA. But that's such a dumb reason for him to get faded when his stats speak for themselves. Did Mike Smith just go before Mikko Koskinen? I think he went before Koskinen, which is kind of weird. Because Koskinen, it's definitely Koskinen's to lose. Yeah, that's odd. Odd. See, so I'm up towards the top in goals and assists and all that, and Barzal goes. Okay, so now the question here is, do we want a Dustin Brown or a Chris Kreider? Let's look at my player rankings here and what I have. Dustin Brown is 72nd to me. Chris Kreider is 112th. Okay, we're going Dustin Brown for sure. Here we go. Dustin Brown, not bad. Really, really helps me in what I need. Heiskanen. A little early for Heiskanen. Not early, I guess. I just don't. I don't really care much for Heiskanen. Okay, so all these guys go. So I could grab Kreider here again. Or I could start to make my move towards peripheral defenseman. I don't have a pick for a while here, so I'd have to bank. I don't have a pick for almost 2 rounds. That makes it a little bit worrisome. Let's take a look here really quick at what's available. So Gudas is probably my best option here on defense, and then taking a Chernak late. Could also take Horvat. Or just go Kopi and go Kings. Kopi is ranked 66th overall. So that would give me... That would kind of fill out my centers which would be okay. And he'd get me power play points, which is what I need more than anything right now. There's not a lot of those. Yeah, let's go Kopi here. Well, we're gonna hope and pray. There's a lot of picks here until my next one. Down below, again, like I said, I'll put the timestamps to my picks. So if you want to skip all these other ones and just get to my pick, I'll put something down there so that you can skip to it. Because I get this is a long wait in between. Okay, then Pacioretty goes 9. I feel like I have a very balanced team at this point. And I feel like I've done very, very well in building the exact team I wanted with given the keepers that I had. Let's go to the standings. And I'm in first by a landslide. I mean, I have the same number of players as this team, as good as it gets, and I have the same number of players as Meat Cove Pirates, and I'm up by this much in the Yahoo stats. Like, that's madness. I've completely come back in hits, and I'm actually the second best team in hits now. That is insane. I mean, on Yahoo, I'm third, but that is insane. I started at pretty much the bottom of hits. How we have recovered, and I didn't lose anything on the... Here, we'll switch over to the draft board real quick. Let's switch over to this. Look at this. Look at this team. Can you... Second in goals. First in assists by quite a bit. Tied for first in power play points. First in shots by a mile. Second in hits. Down there in blocks, but competitive compared to everybody else. There's a few that are really strong. And then first in wins. First in saves. And then somewhat just competitive in save percentage. But hot damn, that is good. That makes me so happy. Crushed it so far. Okay. So this one is actually a little bit interesting, this next bit. So this team here hasn't picked since they sniped me Jonathan Tays way back when, and now they have 5 picks coming. 5 of their last 6, I think, or something like that. No, there's just a ton of picks right here. Look at this. Look at Robodot Islanders. Look at this. That is a lot of pressure. Man, no pressure there. It's insane how far of a lead I've gained here on these teams. I'm curious to see if Robodot's Islanders, how far they come up. Look at this, 19.5. Oh, Kreider goes. That's okay. We can live with that. So next up, we're going to be looking at Agudas, Chernak. Who else do I like? Did Lindell get taken? Or he got taken. Okay, that makes sense. Dustin Byfuglien is actually a kind of a good bet at some point here, just because if he does play, then cool. If he doesn't, then you just kind of stream him in for whoever. Rope Hintz isn't a bad option. Yeah, there goes Dustin Byfuglien, I figured. So Sam Reinhart is the first one of that big have a million picks. I wonder if he actually has these like kind of lined up and knows who he's going to take, or if he needs to think about it. Oh, no, he knows what he's doing. Oh, he knows what he's doing. He's just going with it. He goes Corpusalo. Yikes. I would have taken a goalie earlier than that. Capo Caco, good pick. That reminds me of Hughes. I'm never going to get him. I totally forgot about Hughes. Wait. Gusev. Oh, if no one remembers Gusev, that'll be huge. I mean, he doesn't really fill out anything in this league, though. He could help me in power play points, but that's about it. Oh, my God. Second in goals, first in assists, third in power play points, first in shots, down there in hits, blocks. Oh, man. Top in wins, tap in saves, third in save percentage. Thrilled. And I'm still first if you put 2018, 2019 stats. Oh, man. This feels good. So Jake DeBrusk after that. So what is he going to do here? He has another one here at 111. He goes Andreas Janssen. Those are very risky picks when you need to up your floor because he stays at the bottom. Yeah, the problem there is you need to up your floor, and he took a bunch of risk guys. Janssen is a risk, and not even like that. It's not even that high of ceiling. Like, Janssen's not that high of ceiling. DeBrusque, we know what he is. I like the Kako pick. Korpisalo is a terrible goaltender. Straight up. Reinhardt I like, so it's like a 50-50 there. And of course, I bet you Jack Hughes wouldn't have gone, but because he took him, it kind of alerted everybody to, oh, there might be something there. I wonder if Cale Makar is still out there. No, Cale Makar went, of course. Okay, now Robot Islanders is back again. Let's see what he does. I do like Rope Hintz down here with his center left wing. I like Jason Zucker as well. Granlund is somewhat interesting. From an upside perspective, at least. Furland I like as well. Fills out my hits nicely. But what I really want is I want blocks. Yeah, we've got quite the break here in between. Adam Larson. Yikes. Yikes, the floor on this team is bad. The floor on that team is very, very bad. Kind of got up to tied for 9th, but yikes. Yeah, not great. Yeah, I need to fix my blocks. That's what I need the most. So let's take a look at blocks, players, and what defense. Chris Russell isn't a terrible option. Gusev goes off the board. It's a good pick. The question is, who do I like? Seabrook is actually kind of a good option in this league. So many blocks, tons of hits, tons of shots, some points. I kind of like the idea of Brent Seabrook, to be honest. Or at least I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Jacob Chikrin is just somebody to place on a watch list. I don't want to pick him, but he's somebody to watch at least. Yeah, Granlund makes sense there. What we want Chernak. Chernak and Gudas here. At this 133, 135, we want to go Gudas, Chernak, and that'll be awesome. Fingers crossed we get some bangers. And after that, I will have only one more pick. So I'll have an upside pick pretty much, but that'll fill out my defense. Gudas goes. No. It pains me. It hurts. Okay, so we're going Chernak after that then, for sure. The banger of all bangers. If he even gets to me. It's still such a long ways away. I'm not used to waiting this long. Wherever it goes, I'm glad I grabbed. On the player rankings, who's still left that I like? Josh Anderson is still there, actually, who's a really good player. Jason Zucker. Nino is out there, who is a real steal. Josh Anderson just went. Nino is still out there. Boone Jenner just went. Johansson isn't bad, but I don't have room. JVR is actually a really good... I have so many flyers already, but because I already have Voracek and Gostisbehere, but JVR is a good one for me. I mean, I more than anything, Blake Coleman is actually a beast for me in this league. Even if he regresses this late, I can just drop him. Furland right over here. Okay. Shockingly, someone that might actually be good is Brady Shea. Kind of. Potentially. Just kind of fills some holes for me. So is McDonough. McDonough's not an awful option. He just doesn't shoot, and I don't want shots. Josh Anderson goes next. And then after that, we go VC, Carlson, and Vetrano. Yeah, VC's not a great pick there. Frank Vetrano goes 127. So we're almost to my pick, kind of. Johansson. Yeah, last year, oh wow. So Johansson fills out his team. That's a team, indeed. I guess he got up to 5, but we'll see. Come on, give me Chernak. I hope no one's paying attention. Otherwise we have to go Borietsky or something. Hutton, Niskanen. Yeah, Seabrook I like. But I want Chernak more. As long as I don't get sniped here by Mikov, I'll be good. Because I'm so fine in points right now that I don't need to worry about. Points. Chernak is exactly what I need. I'd be legitimately very sad if he got sniped from me right now. And I'm going to regret not having taken him earlier. I can't believe I'm sweating somebody this late in a draft, but this would be bad. Not bad. I prefer it not. Yes! Oh, we get Chernak. Bless the heavens. This is my second to last pick, or third to last pick here. And we're going to go Eric Chernak because I cannot wait for him to maybe not fall again. We need that bad. And he is underprojected in blocks and hits. His pace last year was insane. If he keeps that pace and plays more games, watch out. So here next, I'm going to go Nino if he falls to me. That's kind of the ideal pick. And if I don't get Nino, then I probably go JVR and Coleman. But I want Nino. I may go Nino. If I get Nino, I probably go Coleman instead of JVR. There's a good chance I get Nino, though. If not, I like Ferland as well. Ferland's another good gamble. And this is it. These are my last 2 picks right here. These are my last 2. No! I got sniped. That's fine. What do we do here? I'm really hurting in blocks, it seems. I mean, it might not even be worth it for me to chase blocks. I mean, I think if I got a block guy here, I could actually kind of catch some people, potentially. I could potentially catch somebody. I guess I don't really have a bench. I guess I could take a center if I really wanted to. Nico Hischier is still out there, and I do like him. Because I don't have any centers on the bench. And so I could bring him into util or something. I like Blake Coleman, but the upside is with Hischier. And instead of chasing blocks, let's go Hischier. And fill him in. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Kind of bummed I didn't get Nino, but that's okay. I think here the move now is we should go Coleman next. Solidify those hits. I mean, we're so high up in points, we're solid. The last guy I need to go here. I mean, I could chase blocks a little bit, but look how far down I am. I mean, I could get the 169 blocks from Seabrook, but... And Chris Russell's not an awful option for blocks simply because Edmonton actually has a lot of off nights this year, so he's somewhat interesting. But huh. Yeah, I'm thinking about. I just don't know if it's worth chasing blocks anymore at this point. I mean, you look at where my blocks are at. I think Eric Chernak's under projected too. I probably fall somewhere more around here if they actually project. Um, if they project Chernak properly. I could also go Furland with upside here instead of Coleman. He probably Furland actually probably has more upside than Coleman does, because Coleman's minutes are going to come down a lot. Between Coleman and Furland. JVR goes, which is fine. I wasn't going to take him. And Strome. So I think... I mean, I'd like to be the leader in hits. If we look at my leaderboard here real quick, here I am. Already the leader in hits. I'm kind of hurting in power play points a little bit. Like I could do something there. So Schmaltz is an option. I could just dominate points. Is Galchenyuk out there? Let's just do this really quick here and see what's out there. Josh Bailey, I don't really want that, to be honest. Galchenyuk was taken. I could also take a flyer on Buchnevich, but I already have a right wing on my bench. So I'd want like a left wing, right wing. You know what? I think that a Furland or a Coleman or one of those guys will be out there. Let's go for the points and just dominate in points and take Nick Schmaltz. Okay, and I am now done with my draft. So while everybody else kind of, and Schmaltz is projected way, way down there. I know that. But it's just kind of, as a guy I can put in, might help me with my power play points. And I don't know if Coleman, Kraus would have been a good option, actually. I completely missed. Not really, actually. No. He's too multi-dimensional for what I wanted. That's okay. Coleman is still out there. He's somewhat interesting. Let's take a look at my team here now. What do I have? So I've got Mika Zibanejad and Pierre-Luc Dubois at center. Two kind of what would be assumed bad centers, but that's okay. Brady Tkachuk, Nick Schmaltz, Jakub Voracek, Dustin Brown. Schmaltz is probably my first drop candidate if it doesn't go well. The rest of the guys I really like. Andrei Kopitar, Dougie Hamilton, Shane Gostisbehere, Eric Chernak, and Brent Burns. It's a pretty good defensive core. I've got 3 top power play guys and 1 guy in Eric Chernak that just bangs, and that's a really good thing. And then we've got Nico Hischier in my util spot. A lot of upside there if he can be top line, top power play. You got Connor McDavid, Patrick Kane, and Taylor Hall on my bench. So a center, right wing, and a left wing on my bench. One thing I don't have is I don't have any maneuverability on this lineup. I have a lot of centers. So I have quite a few centers, but I do have I have 2 center spots, a util, and a forward spot. So there's a lot of room to put players in here, and I feel pretty good with where I'm at. And in net, of course, I have Connor Hellebuck, Jacob Markstrom, and Andrei Vasilevsky. With those 3 in net, I should be absolutely solid. So I think almost every week I should win wins and saves. I think that's almost a guaranteed that I win these 2 cats. Almost every week, I would feel comfortable saying that. I'd compete probably here, and it would depend, but I'd feel pretty good about that. In saves alone, I think saves is going to be the hardest one to beat me in. Wins is, of course, always dependent on how it goes. Excuse me. But saves, for sure, I feel really, really good about. And then as far as everything else goes, goals, I'm in first. Assists, I'm in second. Power play points, I'm in second. Shots on goal, I'm up. Hits, I'm third. Blocks is where I'm really hurting. But I could fix that if I needed to. I could drop like a Schmaltz, for example, and pick up Seabrook. And that would help me a lot. So let's fill out now. I want to, before I end this stream here, I want to show you the draft leaderboard on my sheet. So let's fill this out and take a look at how people look on my projections as opposed to Yahoo's projections. It would be pretty sweet if you could upload projections into Yahoo. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Who was 143? It was Lawson Krause. Okay, and then we've got, after Krause, went Gord and Dunn. Koskinen and Pionk. Yikes. This was a pretty fast draft. Only an hour, which was nice. A little bit of difference from the ones we've done that are redrafts. Riley Smith. Perry Kapanen. James Neal and Eric Skull. I gotta say though, I'm very, very happy with how this team ended up. We got some absolute steals that I didn't expect. Brady Tkachuk falling to us was unbelievable. I had a few other guys that didn't. I'm surprised Blake Coleman isn't going here. Okay, and the draft is now complete. Okay, so let's take a look at how this all kind of looks. So Zadorov went there. Okay, so we are filled out. Let's look at this. Apologies, you got to see me fill out my draft board at the end. Okay, so here's how the draft leaderboard ended up. Top in goals, top in assists, close. Second in power play point, third in power play points, my bad. 14.4 and 12.9, but quite ahead of everybody else and other cats. First in shots by a large margin. Third in hits, so very competitive in hits. Down in blocks, this one is going to be almost a wash for me. I think I'll be better with Chernak if he can do the same pace that he did last year. First in wins, first in saves by a long shot. And then I am third in save percentage. So did pretty well. I'm stoked with how I did. That went shockingly well. I ended up first on Yahoo's as well by quite a margin, more than 10 points, which is something I haven't done in a while. But that was really great. So thank you for watching. Tomorrow we have a draft going up in the morning that is going to be where I draft behind Keeping Karlsson in the Listener League. So keep an eye out for that. Earlier today, we posted a draft of a points league. So be sure to check that out if you haven't. Other than that, be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for watching. Super excited to get the season started.